Welcome back. In this business finance lecture, we'll go over study problem 8-4 in page 271 from the 8th edition of our textbook. Here's a view of the problem. Let's highlight some key facts given in the problem. We are told that the preferred stock is currently selling at $33 per share, so that would be the price of the stock. Let's write down the givens. So that would be $33 per stock or per share, per preferred stock. We are also told that the dividends are currently at $3.60 per share. So preferred stock is $3.60 per share. And now we are expected to figure out the expected rate of return in the first part of the problem, and in the second part of the problem the required rate of return is given, and we are to figure out the valuation of the bond. And finally, we are to decide whether we want to buy this bond or not. So let's move into the first part of the problem, which would be to figure out the expected rate of return of the stock. Let's do it over here. So the expected rate of return of a preferred stock formula would be given as the dividend amounts, periodic dividend amounts, divided by the price of the preferred stock, obviously. So the dividend amount in this particular example would be $3.60. The price is given as $33 per share, and as a result, we would figure that the expected rate of return of this security is 10.91%. Now for the second part of the problem, part B, the value of the preferred stock would be simply equal to the dividend amount again, but this time divided by the required rate of return, and just plugging in the givens in the problem. So $3.60 for dividends, the required rate of return in this particular example being 10%, that would actually require no calculator at all. That would give us $36, and that we would be done with the second part as well. Now for the last part of the problem, whether the investor should buy this security or not, like we did previously, we can use one of the two approaches. We can either compare expected rate of return with required rate of return. That would be one approach, and for that particular case, let's quickly do it over here. So for part C, so we just realized that the expected rate of return in our example is 10.91%, which is greater than 10% required rate of return, and as such the decision would be to buy this security. Alternatively, we could have used the valuation. So the value of the bond is currently set at $36 per share, and again this value is greater than the $33 of the market price mentioned in the problem. Again, because your valuation exceeds the market price, your decision will not change. You will decide to buy. So this shows a nice duality between expected rates of return and market prices. So you can make a decision either by comparing the value of the bond to you as an investor and the market price. If your valuation exceeds the market price, you would prefer to buy it, or alternatively, you can just focus on the rate of return, and in that particular case, if your expected rate of return is greater than the required rate of return, which is basically your threshold for buying this security, then again you would buy the security. And we are pretty much done with this problem, and I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and hope to see you again in the following video.